I wanted to really share with you as a critical piece of knowledge from today's session is that deciding whether a body corporate is the kind of body corporate that you want to be invested in, because as a sectional title owner, you are invested in a body corporate or not, is a lot more than just numbers. And numbers are part of the equation, but to a large extent, I wouldn't say small part of the equation, but I would say that there are at least 50%, but there's a lot more. So what is that a lot more? And how do you go through that process? Because you are here and you are looking at a deal. Now, let's take a step back. You're looking at a deal, you're looking to purchase a unit. And maybe the unit is just the right unit, in the right area, at the right price. And a sectional title unit is in a body corporate. So the right property cannot be detached from being the right body corporate. You simply cannot have the right property in the wrong body corporate. It's impossible for you to have a fantastic short-term, medium-term, long-term investment property in a substandard, dysfunctional, bankrupt, illiquid body corporate. I think that's a very, very important message that I wanted to share with you. So first of all, you don't have to be a chartered accountant to do your initial due diligence on a body corporate. And what I always do, and what I highly recommend that you do as well, is a very thorough walkthrough of the exterior, the interior of the body corporate, and the various common areas of the body corporate to get a really good view of what this building looks like. Because body corporate looks after a building or a series of buildings. And I refer to the broken window methodology that really is inspired by the story that many of you might have heard about, call it the revival of New York, in the 90s, where I think it was Rudolph Giuliani, if I remember correctly, decided that there was going to be no broken window in any building in New York City. And when you see a broken window, or when you see something that is broken, can very often is an outer manifestation, but a powerful manifestation that something is broken at a more profound and deep level. So certain things, what I've seen, many aspiring growing property hackers doing is that they go to a viewing and they just go like rockets inside the unit. They go like rockets outside the unit. They normally arrive on time. They normally arrive slightly late. They sometimes arrive quite late, and you just rocket inside the unit. A property hacker arrives very early for any viewing and arrives earlier than the agent if you are dealing with agents. Thank you, Sepang, for supporting my memory. I was starting to be a little bit concerned about my memory. So get there early so that you can do these walkabouts without the pressure of the agent. Go and see the garages. The garages, the basement, the undercover basement, always a very interesting and insightful indication of how well looked after the body corporate is. Another thing that people don't do is they never go to the roof area. But in most buildings, you do get access to the roof area. And the roof area, oh gosh, I've seen all kind of things. The least you can see is to what extent the waterproofing of a body corporate is maintained, and the waterproofing always happens to be, you know, one of the top 3 or 4 maintenance items of a building. So walk around slowly, early, talk to as many people as you can that are on site. Just stop, says hello. My name is Andile. I'm considering purchasing a unit in this complex, and I was wondering how your experience has been living in this complex. And then you shut up. You shut up and you let them talk as much as they can, as much as they want to share, and just listen and hear what they've got to say. They'll tell you things about security. They'll tell you things about maybe neighbors' behavior, noise levels, a lot of things. So the broken window that goes around with a walkabout is by far going to help you deciding whether you want to invest in a body corporate, in a sectional title, before you even look at any of the financials. So let me see if there's any, like always, please step in, please click the speak button. Maybe tell me about one of the experiences you've had. If you've got questions, don't wait, because I can see on the timer, the time flies while we're having fun. Time flies while we're sharing local and practical knowledge, how to be a property hacker in South Africa. And as you can see, we're gonna run out of time soon, so don't be shy. Thank you for the questions so far. Keep coming through with the questions. It's for your benefit. The second item that has got nothing to do with the financials of the body corporate is to get the minutes of the latest annual general meeting, AGM, annual general meeting. Get the minutes, because a lot of agents in particular, when you ask for documents, they just send you the financials. But their financials are just that, lies, big lies, and numbers, as I always like to say. But the AGM minutes are a lot more insightful into what is really happening in the body corporate. And every AGM has minutes. So make sure that you ask for the AGM minutes. The AGM minutes will tell you stories that financials will never tell you. Will tell you the kind of discussions that are taking place, the real issues that are taking place. Will also give you an indication of whether the body corporate is working in harmony or is working as one against each other. That's also a very important point. Normally 2, 3, 4 pages max. You can read them in 5 minutes, and you've got the inside track on what is really happening. And as I said, because they are so telling, very often agents want to hide those documents from you, unless you specifically ask. And even if you specifically ask, they'll tell you they don't have them and they need to ask them, and that this is delaying the process, and that they have another offer, and wara. We'll go through later on today what exactly you need to do in terms of your offer to purchase to take care of all these specific points, literally word by word. So we will go through it one at a time. So get the AGM minutes, really important part of your due diligence. The other one is have a good old telephone call, with the chairperson. Ask for the details of the chairperson, call the chairperson, and you says, hello, Miss Chairperson or Mr. Chairperson. My name is Carlo Mariani, and I am seriously considering purchasing a unit in the body corporate that I understand you are chairperson of, and I'm wondering how the body corporate is functioning and what's your what's your insight into the body corporate, and you just let them talk. Sepang saying, I've had a viewing in a building that a very old abandoned bakkie in the Barking Bay. It was all downhill from there. Yes, that's a good point, Sepang. You know, it's those little things that can give you an idea that clearly there is a lack of TLC, of tender love and care in the building, and that can make a big difference. Talk with the chairperson. And what I want to say here that is valid throughout the reminder of today is that I've had some of you coming back to me and say, no, but the agent says that there is POPI, there's the POPI Act, so they're not allowed to share this information. Utter, total, absolute nonsense. Because POPI doesn't stop people from sharing information. It just creates the fact that there needs to be a valid basis for you to access their information and to request for information and for them to share their information. And you have a very legitimate interest. So you have to kind of like insist to say, dear agent, I have a legitimate interest in getting access to this property because this is material to my decision of whether I should buy this property or not. Hence, if I don't get access to this information, there is simply no deal. I've had sort of like to try to support one of you that on the day that he took transfer of the property, still had no idea of who the tenants were and how much were they paying and what the lease agreement was and all those details. So almost like bought the property blindly, and then he's now having to do a lot of work that he should be never doing, after date of registration to try to clean up this big mess. And we're going to talk about buying with existing tenants as well. So there is a very, very important point around POPI and around legitimate interest. And I'm sure that some of you have had. Let me know in the chat line if I'm dreaming or if you are one of those people that have been told that no, they cannot share their information because of POPI. Because I love how agents have been using POPI to actually hide information they should be sharing. The other piece of information that is of non-financial nature, but is really, really important as part of your decision whether to buy a unit in a certain body corporate or not, is to review the